guys. Okay, for episode 5, these are like breakthrough moments, and I think we're getting better.
We are. We'll see about that.
So let's just jump right into it. Today, Dennis Herring, our amazing loan officer based out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, with the golden locks. I like Goldilocks, is going to give us a mortgage minute update. So let's get started on that.
All right, let's start with the mortgage minute update. So rates have been trending towards the upside very, very minimally. Not that most consumers are going to notice that they're getting a bump up in the rate, just that if they're on that edge of one rate versus another, it may push them from, let's just say, a 3.5 to a 3.625, nothing substantial. We were looking at possibly an improvement. We're waiting on the Fed to meet today, like at 1, and then they're going to have a press conference after that, 2:30, and that's what we're going to be watching for today, to see the direction, if rates are going to stay steady where they're at now, or if we're going to trend up again, or if we're going to trend down possibly a little bit. But they're still great, right?
So just curious, off the top of your head, let's say I have, pick a number, $300,000 loan or $500,000 loan, pick a number, and it goes up 0.25%, like 0.25%. How much would that impact our monthly, can you give me some kind of a bulk? Because it doesn't really make sense for most of us how impact, it doesn't make much of an impact. How does that impact?
Well, a quarter is definitely more than an eighth, right? Because that's twice as much more. So a quarter, on a $400,000 or $500,000 loan, that's a few $100 a month. So it definitely could impact debt to income ratios and stuff like that.
Okay, all right, that's good to know.
Certainly on the larger loan amounts, obviously the numbers are more impactful.
Right, absolutely. Well, this Relo thing is definitely continuing to grow, which is super exciting.
Yeah.
And what we're finding is that we're growing organically. So we're getting amazing people that we're getting to visit with, amazing lenders like you guys, which is wonderful for you guys because it's your exit strategy that you've never had before in real estate.
Finally.
Yeah, right? So ideally, I'm going to think in a perfect world, if your folks, your realtors that you talk to, invite a lender, right? Then you have another lender that is doing loans that you wouldn't have ever gotten in the first place, but you'll actually get a little chunk of the loans that come through the portals for the realtors that introduce, that agent, that loan officer introduced, blah, 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 right? Help me spit this out. So let's say you, loan officer, introduces a realtor who introduces a realtor, right? Who says, I've been using this loan officer for 15 years. You as a loan officer will be like, well, introduce them to the program, right?
Exactly.
Because if that, because that loan officer probably knows a ton of realtors, and let's say over the course of the next 2, 3, 5, whatever years, personally introduces 100 realtors to the program who introduce 200 and on down we go. That's extra income for you that you will never have to work for, that you never would have seen before.
That's significant.
That's significant. And that's probably, and as you've seen, Louis, who introduced us, and now you guys are in his group of loan officers with your amazing experience, bringing in loans that he would have never seen before, right? With realtors he would have never seen before. He would have gotten nothing, and y'all would have been his competition. But now you're not his competition, you're his partners.
That's right.
Right? He'll bend over. Have you found that maybe he'll bend over a little, he'll bend over backwards to help you move forward?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah. It's that I love that new camaraderie. Is it something new to the mortgage industry that y'all didn't have before?
Yeah, to a certain extent. Yeah. Instead of, cutting each other's throats for fees or rate, we can support one another and have a scenario even scenario group that where if there's an issue, we can talk it through together. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. So I think that's cool because I love teamwork. And that's probably one of the things that I love about what I do. I'm a realtor, so I get a completely different perspective. So it's nice to hear from you guys as loan officers, your perspective.
Mhm.
And kind of you guys get to develop the culture within this.
Right.
And you guys are naturally just good, caring, giving people anyways. And I love the idea that the realtors who bring in realtors who might bring in an amazing loan officer, they get to be a part of this group, right?
Right. Well, and going to your statement, it's like, having a conversation with the realtors that we know who don't necessarily always use us and have, second and third choices. They ask, well, what about these guys? What are we going to do with them? Well, you're going to show them the program. You're going to bring them along. We want them.
Right.
I don't want you to use me anymore. I want you to bring them along and use them all the time.
We're not competing anymore, right?
No, I want the mailbox money.
We want the mailbox money because that you have the loan officer and hit 50 realtors connections.
Exactly.
And what I have found with this quote unquote, it's not mailbox money. Now it's like internet money. I don't know. It just magically shows up, right?
It's cryptocurrency.
Magic money is that if something happens, right? We're covered. We don't have to worry about maybe our mortgage payment. And for a lot of people, $1,000 a month is impactful. $2,000 a month is impactful.
Right.
$3,000.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a friend who is a realtor, and she was able to grow her mailbox money, right, through a different company. And you see this in all sorts of companies, right? This is kind of the new trend. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki said that we're going to see this in multiple industries. And we're seeing it in so many industries across the board. But in Houston, during that big old flood, she's a realtor as well. There's a huge flood. All of her pending stopped.
That's it.
All her income stopped. But what she did have was that magic money that just showed up in her bank account.
Right, because she was connected with people that are at different parts of the country. So she had that rotational insulation, if you will, because,
Right.
Texas today, Florida tomorrow, the Northeast with their nor'easters, next
Right.
month, you just never know who's going to be impacted and have, that faucet shut off.
Right.
So your own personal faucet. But if you've got that second or third faucet, tapped into a residual passive from other folks that have been invited to see this, it can be life-changing, like you said, or life-saving, as the case may be.
Or life-saving. I like that. That's a great point. So one of the things that we talk about is first thing you do is you register and you make a list. And I think this is for some people, the tediousness, and it's as realtors and loan officers, I'm going to guess less loan officers, the tediousness of actually going down and making a list. So here's what I'm offering, right? Here's what I'm offering. I find the best place, and what I've heard, and I find this to be true for my husband, for me, because he just had to make a new list for the Relo program, is he just went through his phones and started with A's and just started writing them down, names and phone numbers, names and phone numbers. These are people that he likes and he loves, and if in 5 years, he doesn't want to regret having not shared this with them, right? He doesn't want to be that person that was a little bit selfish or a little bit scared or a little bit nervous. Right? We're so grateful that somebody shared the Relo mortgage program with us as realtors, because I've been advocating for you guys forever, my loan officer, so that my buyers don't wind up going with some Facebook ad, right? Or some company that they Googled. I found out another company that offers compensation to realtors. They're hiring brand new loan officers straight off the boat, the street, whatever, like brand new. I'm like, Why would I don't want to do that?
It's an order taker. It's just
It's an
somebody
order-
who's able to answer the phone, take down some basic information. They're not going to be able to think through the processes and give the advice that people are demanding now. There's so much disinformation being disseminated. I was just on a phone call yesterday, and a guy and his wife spent 5 months working with a lender that was leading them totally down the wrong path. And that
Yeah.
loan officer disappeared, and they got a new one. And that one said, no, I don't know what this guy was talking about. No, you guys can't go anywhere. You have no debt to income ratio left. Meanwhile, they thought for 5 months they were looking good and we're out looking at houses.
Oh, that's heartbreaking. A great loan officer is critical. And with you guys with 20, 30 years experience, this is why this model works so well, because we're getting introduced to the great loan officers who protect our buyers, right? And I love that, it's a great referral program. You get compensated on the front end, on the back end, you guys get compensated as well. So here's our offer, and you guys don't have to do this, but if you want, I can open up, I'm happy to do a Zoom call with anybody who's listening to this, right? You get your cell phone out, and I'll get a Google spreadsheet and I'll do a screen share,
She loves
right?
spreadsheets.
You
She
give
loves
me
the
their
spreadsheets.
name, I'll type it. You give me their phone number, I'll type it. If you want to do an email address, whatever information, I'll type it. That way you have a Google spreadsheet, and I'll give it to you, right? And I'll type, because sometimes we just need a sidekick to do this new thing, to make that list. Because it's not that it's difficult. It's just getting all the distractions out of your life and allotting that time. And I know for my kids, I know for me, I know for my husband, having somebody sitting there with me while going through it. I know this is true when it's cleaning my house. I don't clean, but on a rare occasion that I do, I'll call my girlfriend. I'll tell her to talk to me with the cell phone while I'm like scrubbing the sink and doing dishes. It's not that I can't do the dishes. It's just that it's so much better with a friend.
Mhm.
Right.
So,
well, especially like with Brett and myself, making the transition as a full-time LO from one company to another, there's a lot of necessary distractions with that piece of it right now. Getting the pipeline built out, figuring out the processes, learning how this company does it versus the company we were just at, and what the time frames are, and especially the way that they have things laid out, for the our loan processing system, even just that, and timing that with the transition to the new URLA. It's like, wow.
And we've heard this, the difference between working on your business and working in your business.
Right.
For sure.
So it's very easy to work on your business and then not work in your business, or work in your business and not work on your business.
Balance.
So, and because for most of us, we have one that's more comfortable than the other. For some people, they'd rather work on their business, like do this list, but then they kind of let the stuff that's in their business that you're talking about go, right?
Yeah.
So I love that you're working on that, because that makes me feel very secure that our clients will be taken care of. But that means that there's probably another side, and we all have that thing.
Right. And it's the prospecting piece that you're talking about, setting aside the time to work on this part of it, which is the Relo program, and take the time to get out there, time block it, and prospect, because it is taking off like a rocket ship. There's going to be more and more people that you're going to pick up the phone and call, and they're going to say, well, yeah, I heard about it from so-and-so yesterday.
And have you seen the presentation? Have you seen the presentation?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I had some great conversations. We'll transition into wins, because I think we're running low on time. I had some really great conversations with people last week that I would never be able to have a conversation with these people. They're just at such a different level than what I am, but I had no fear about it, because I was offering them something as a gift that they can then gift on to their people on their team. I mean, this is a person that's running a team that they're doing about 100 transactions a year. And her husband just got his LO license so that they could build a mortgage firm, so that they could then have additional income stream. So she was like, oh, wait a minute. So that we would just transition over to Amerifirst. Oh, this sounds really great.
That timing. And you wouldn't have known if you didn't pick up the phone. That's beautiful.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll close that one this week.
Oh, what a beautiful gift. Congratulations. Yeah. I don't know if that's too soon, but that's fantastic. And
I think you put it out there, it'll happen, right?
Huh?
Put it out there, it'll happen.
It'll put it out. And you did. And you're really wonderful about putting it in the universe and creating that energy and that energy flow so it goes in the right direction. So I actually got to meet Brett for the first time last week.
Yes, you did.
That was fun.
The autograph session was good. No, that was a lot of fun. Just getting to press the flesh with you, your husband, and all the team that you guys have was really nice. Good outing. There's another one coming up too, right?
Yes. I think in a month.
Yep.
I haven't set the date. I need to work on that. But we have little get-togethers about we used to do it pre-COVID once a month, just for fun, no purpose. Like, for somebody who likes to do things on purpose, this had less of a purpose. So it's kind of cool to have like a non-purposeful get-together, right? A just because. I used to do it for our kids. I used to have just because parties, but it was good because Brett got to meet other realtors, other affiliates. And I think once you get into the flow of sharing, not just having to be a great loan officer, right? But also the opportunities and the compensation package, because this is a new concept for you, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Sure is.
Yeah.
But it's still some of the same. And I want to stress to the people that are going to watch this that you can be rest assured that the mortgage company piece of this is as strong as anything I've ever seen. And this is 30 years that I've been at this. I said this last week, I would have moved my branch here regardless of Relo at this company. And I went and met them, all of them in Phoenix. They're all 10s. The transition, although it's painful, just because it's never a good time to move. As an existing loan officer, it's tough because I have other people that are going to come with me, and it's learning that learning curve of just all the passwords and setup and everything. But and I started, my license went active midday on Thursday, and really by Monday I was 90%. 95%.
Wow.
And all the little widgets and trinkets and toys they give you in marketing to play with. So I think I kind of have it down, and I've got my first several loans going through right now, and everything seems to be really smooth. And sometimes in the presentation, because they have limited time and they're talking about the comp plan, you don't really get the feeling as an agent that you would trust your paycheck, your big paycheck, for a lot of these smaller paychecks, because you're afraid that this company isn't going to support you the way your current loan officer supports you. And I can just tell you that as long as they continue to bring quality people in and not just let everybody hang their license here, as far as that run things, we're going to be in great shape and keep a good, clean reputation. And that's something that all the way up, the CEO assured me of that when I was out there.
Right. It's important for people to understand that for the full-time LO, there is a process of application. It's not simply fill out the form and you're accepted. There is a process of due diligence on their part to make sure that the right people are being let in.
And at the end of the day, us realtors get to choose to work with you. It's not like we're working with Amerifirst, sending our loans to Amerifirst, and it goes through a lottery on who picks it up. We choose to work with you as our loan officer, who happens to be at Amerifirst, who happens to have a program that compensates us on the back end.
Right.
At the end of the day, we still get to choose you, which I love, because I'm a relationship person. I've been working with my same title company for 15 years. Actually, my third escrow agent with the same processor at the same title company, the same crew, you know? And Karen Otto, our stager, we grew our business together for the last 15. Lance has been our professional real estate photographer. When we have somebody great in our lives, we want to stick with them, right? And this is what I love, is that this company supports that relationship to the nth degree. So,
and it's incumbent upon the loan officer, right? It's incumbent upon the loan officer to take care of the agents that have chosen them, because they do have options to go somewhere else. It's not like a captive, a mortgage company that's captive to the builder, where they're gonna get incentivized to be there. The borrower's not going to go anywhere because they've got 10,000 in upgrades or whatever. And so we have to provide that service, or else we're going to lose the relationship, just like we would in the free market.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Because there's hundreds of agents, loan officers within the Amerifirst system.
Right. Exactly.
So that's one reason I want to do these. I appreciate you doing these videos, because I want people to get to know you and appreciate you for who you guys are, our loan officers. And I appreciate you guys. And once again, everybody make a list. Let's help these guys grow. They're here to help us. They're one of the best. They know where they stand in this company. And I absolutely could not be more thrilled with all of this. And I'm excited to introduce you guys to realtors and Louis. And he's actually in Cabo right now and talking to realtors. And
Yes, he met with that realtor I was just talking about for me while she was
that's
there.
fantastic. I mean, we're all in this together.
Yeah.
Right? We're not competing.
It's a
We're all
partnership.
in this together. It's like we're all on this boat. We're all paddling this boat, and we're all going in the same direction. And we might all each have each have our own oar going in the same direction together. So let us know how we can help you guys. I want you to know how much I appreciate y'all. And I'm so excited about where we're going on this journey. So thank you.
Definitely. Hey, did I mention last week that I got my Georgia license?
Yes.
So I'm licensed in Georgia too now. Florida and
nice.
Georgia.
Woo! How many CEs was that? 2 hours?
0.
0.
Applied on Friday, got it on Monday. $187.10.
Oh man. Well, that makes me want to get my Georgia license.
I figured you would.
You didn't tell me the no CE part. I thought, oh, am I going to have to like click play for 2 hours?
0. Once
0.
you've got Florida, it's easy.
So Brett and I will be licensed in Georgia by Monday.
That's right.
Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys so much.
All right. Hey, look for our information in the bio if you need to contact us directly.
I'm sorry? What
We're going to put our
bio?
information in the bio on, like in the post, on the Facebook post. In case
Got
somebody
it.
reach out.
Thank you.
All right. If you have any
Thank
questions,
you.
let us know.
Take
Bye,
care,
guys.
Brett. See you.
Bye, guys.